What's going on, guys? What's going on? It's been a minute since I've done a YouTube live stream. We've really been working a lot inside the Discord at Evolution Traders. But figured, why not? New Year's Eve, markets are open. My trading is pretty much all shut down for the year. I locked up my options account as of yesterday. We took a nice little Nvidia trade. For the most part, all of my funded accounts are done traded on the year. Not really have any plans to, get into anything on a funded account. I took one little trade today. It was about, well, I don't even know, 6-7 points, about 150 bucks or so on an express funded account. Right now, all we're doing is kind of just watching the markets. We are trading a few Apex evaluations. Again, that 90% off sale is absolutely insane. Before you read into trying to pick apart all of the negatives in terms of, hey, the activation fee, you have to pass it before the sale's over, blah, blah, blah. Guys, any size account for $16.50. Like, what do you expect, right? So when you start looking at things and start trying to find everything that is wrong with a particular deal, just don't trade it. If you don't like Apex, that's fine. There's multiple other firms out there that you guys can trade. So it is what it is. But I think it's good to diversify and have a bunch of different prop firm accounts. You never want to put all of your eggs in one basket. That's definitely not something you want to do, but you want to spread out the risk, right? You want to diversify yourself and have options. And it's great for the way that I trade, because essentially I look to rotate accounts. I don't copy trade. So right now I've got 9 funded accounts. And essentially every trade setup goes on a different account. So it kind of spreads out my risk a little bit. Yeah, it takes a little bit more time to kind of get to some of those payout thresholds and windows, but it's completely okay. I'm all about, the slow, steady roll, trying to, just take out a monthly withdrawal from these firms. 2025, we're definitely going to be incorporating some new things here on my channel. I will do a lot more live streams on YouTube. Had to set up some things on the back end to make sure that is ready to go. And we're going to do a lot more things, right? So should be a pretty exciting 2025. Just kind of looking at price here now, and basically a steady sell-off. But one thing that is extremely difficult to kind of do, especially when you get into this time of year and this type of environment, is the ranges are big, right? The volatility is up. So even on a 5-minute time frame, 35-point ATR is nothing to kind of play around with. So that's why I say it's it's a perfect time and perfect kind of environment where you can definitely pass evaluations or build up a nice little cushion on some of your evaluation accounts. It's definitely a lot harder to do on a funded account, because God forbid that you're wrong on your trade, you're going to take a pretty little nasty hit there, just due to the volatility, right? And there's nothing you can really do about that. A lot of times traders, they get upset or they get mad that the market is chopping in this big of a range. But it's like, hey, there's another option out there, and that option is to just walk away and not trade, right? No one is telling you that every day needs to be absolutely perfect, and no one is telling you that the market needs to do what you want it to do. So if you don't like the way the price action is moving, you definitely don't have to trade. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, as far as my live funded accounts, and my personal cash that I trade options with, I am done for the year. There is no trades that are going to be taken on that. It's like this, right? It's like I was telling a lot of the people inside of Evolution Traders that it becomes something that tries to become a norm of every day I got to get into the markets and I got to make money, right? It's like if you were stressing, panicking, trying to pass evaluations, you're trying to, make a bunch of money at the end of the year in the last 2 weeks of trading. It's like, what the hell did you do for 12 months, right? Your P&L should be basically locked up for the year. You shouldn't be trying to, scramble around, right? Reset yourself, create a nice little business plan, get yourself ready for the new year. You know, how many accounts are you taking into the new year? What firms are you going to trade with? How much are you going to allocate towards your trading? So forth and so forth, right? Get your strategies all dialed in, stop losses, take profits and stuff like that. Again, if you're really looking to trade, um, these markets seriously, you know, it's just better to wait until probably mid next week or even after that, right? You definitely don't need to try to be pushing it right now. That's a fact. So, you know, just kind of stay patient out there, guys. And again, you know, this kind of stuff takes time. It's not like, you know, you're going to grab a couple of accounts and you're going to automatically pass them and you know, start taking payouts like tomorrow, right? I'm a big advocate for slow and steady. You know, slow and steady is always gonna be the safest route. It's definitely gonna protect that mental equity. It's definitely going to preserve your trading capital. It's gonna protect your accounts. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes involved in this. It's not, you know, all strategy. I know that's what's kind of being taught out there on YouTube and all the other social medias is what's the best strategy, what's the best entry model, what's the best this and that. Guys, it's not about that. It's about the emotions. It's about the mindset. It's about having the plan. It's about sticking to your rules. It's about all of the boring crap that no one really wants to do. You know, everyone wants to look for the home run trade here. And that's essentially it's really not about that. You know, every trader is going to win, every trader is going to lose. You know, every strategy is going to work. Nothing's ever perfect. So it's how do you kind of manage that in the end, right? That's what's really going to be the determining factor, whether you're a more consistent trader in 25 or a profitable trader in 25. That's definitely what it's going to come down to. And I'm a big, you know, believer in, you know, discipline, right? It's easier said than done, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not a perfect trader. I'm not the world's best trader. I make mistakes still. I've been doing this for 12 years. I still make some of the same stupid mistakes that I made 10 years ago, right? The only difference is now I can identify when I'm being an idiot, and I can kind of stop that behavior a lot faster than I could 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, I would overtrade, I would max leverage, I would go all in, I would do a bunch of stupid crap, right? I would always be chasing for the next big, you know, winning trade and, you know, kind of just spinning my wheels in the mud. Realistically, as a trader, you need to, you know, a lot of people ask, you know, what does it really take to be profitable or to find consistency or to start actually making money? And to be honest, you know, you need to slam your head against the effing wall about 1,000 times, right? And when you feel like you've slammed it against the wall 1,000 times, you need to do it another 1,000 times. And that's losing money, right? You need to lose money. You need to see that it's real. You need to see that this is not a joke. It's not something to be played with. It's not something that you can just show up to, you know, when the market opens and think that you're just going to catch an amazing trade. And kind of going from there. So, you know, definitely get all your ducks in a row here going into 2025, because we should definitely all as a team, all as a community, we should definitely make 2025 a good year, right? You know, if you have been trading, even if you've picked up trading within the last 3 months, you should have learned something, right? You should have learned something from this year. What's the one thing that you can take away from your trading this year that you're not going to do next year, right? What's the one negative impact that you've had on your trading this year that you can eliminate from your whole entire system next year? Okay. And I know what I can do better, and that is playing too much size. Okay. That's the biggest killer ever. When I just stick to a normal, realistic position size and I don't step out of pocket where I'm trying to, you know, hit the home run trade because I'm up a little bit. I'll give you guys a scenario. There's multiple days, right? Multiple days where, let's say within the first 30 minutes to an hour, I'll be up $300, $400, right? Across a couple of accounts. And I'll start to feel myself where I'm like, okay, I got a good read on this market. Everything is, you know, kind of going the way that I want to go. You know, let's take this from one mini contract. Let's go to 3. And it's more times than not, when I increase the size, that trade is a loser. Now, is it because that the strategy doesn't work? Is it because, you know, whatever? Is it because the market is out to get me? No, it's not. It's that trading is all a game of probabilities, right? So you never know, based on the math, where those losing trades are going to fit in, right? It seems to always happen when you increase your size. It seems to always happen when you go down and now you're chasing negative P&L, right? It seems that way because that's what your brain is leading you to believe, that there's some bigger thing out there, right? There's some bigger thing out there that's causing you to have those struggles and those problems, and it's not. It's, you have to trust the math. You have to believe in the math, right? If your strategy hits, and I'll just use a general example, 65-70% of the time, right? Out of 10 trades, you're going to see at least 3 to 4 losers. But if you can't withstand those 3 to 4 losers and you start going outside of your comfort zone and you start doing things that you're not supposed to be doing, well, what do you think's going to happen? You're going to ruin the entire math system behind your strategy and your edge. That is never going to get you to profitability where you want to be. You have to take the loss on the chin, right? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know, there's nothing we can really do about it. But you know, the more you're in the markets, the more you're taking the trades, the more you're gonna start to identify those things. You're gonna go through those feelings enough times to realize, like, hey, you know what, I've been here before. If I just see this through the other side, I'm definitely going to make money. In terms of what the market's doing right now, this is a slow, wide range downtrend. Okay. Essentially, we're just putting in new low after new low after new low. This downtrend hasn't been broken. As you can see from the screen, we're kind of bouncing up into supply. We've got rejected at the 20-day moving average twice. I'm looking at a 5-minute time frame. This downtrend really doesn't get broken until we close above the 20-period moving average, and then we start to build upon that. Until then, you know, we could see yesterday's low become a factor at 21,251. That's the red line down at the bottom of the screen. Again, we've got this day low down here too. I could definitely mark this out, right? If I mark this out here, you're going to see a little bit of a range. So from 285 to 250, there's about 25 points worth of room here that this could definitely slide. Definitely pressure is down. You know, if you're one person who, maybe your mistake for 2024 was you're always trying to go against the trend, right? How many times do we think that we're going to catch the bottom, right? And I do a lot of reversal trades, a lot of mean reversion trades, where I'll look for those extended moves down or extended moves higher, and then I will look to go against a trend. But truthfully speaking, I'm treating them as scalps, right? So sometimes if I'm able to get in there and make 3, 4, 5 points, I'll take my money and kind of lock it up, right? I'm never really going into those mean reversion trades as something where, hey, I've caught the bottom, and if I stay in this trade, I'm going to catch 40, 50, 60 points to the upside or to the downside, depending on you know, which way the market is moving. And that's one thing that I do see, you know, because I look around social media, I kind of see, you know, the way that other people trade. And what gets glorified a lot of the times is like something like this, right? Where, again, and it could work out, right? Something like this could work out. But where you see a big, you know, extension that move down, a lower low, and then you see like some consolidation here, you could essentially take this zone here, right? You could essentially take this zone, drop a stop loss right below this zone. And as long as we do not put in a new low of day, you can kind of be sitting in this long, right? And you would be trying to target some of these prior swing highs, right? 380, you would maybe be trying to target 420, but you're looking at a 100-point move to the upside. Now, in hindsight, if it does work out, it looks great, right? It looks like, you know, hey, why didn't everyone just buy the dip down here? What happens in the live markets when you do get into these trades and you put yourself in these moves is that some of these swings are unbearable, right? Like even this, you know, 5-minute candle that we're working on here is a 41-point range, guys. And technically, you should still be in this trade, right? If you're looking to bounce this, if you're looking to see if this market's going to hold, you're looking to buy this prior support, you're dealing with the 60-point range, right? And unless you're trading 1 or 2 micro contracts, it's extremely difficult for someone to put on any type of size and actually sit through those moves. But the problem is when you go back in hindsight and you kind of look at this chart, and you just use the narrative in the example of, let's say it does hold, right? And let's say it does bounce 50, 60, 70 points from here. It's going to look like Why were you an idiot and didn't just get long at the bottom, right? It's a lot easier said than done. Again, a lot of these trades, because trading is probabilities, everything is just a theory. All of these strategies are just theories based on technical analysis. What did price previously do in the past and what can it do in the potential future? There's still a probability that it's going to lose, that it's not going to work out, right? So how do you protect yourself? How do you protect yourself? The way that you're going to be able to protect yourself is by managing the risk. The way that you're going to be able to protect yourself is by sticking to the rules, right? If your rules are telling you to get out of the trade because it's technically the trade is broken, you got to get out of the trade because the trade is broken. It doesn't mean double down in average into your position. It doesn't mean flip sides. Oh, I was thinking long, let me go short, right? It's because when you start to do that type of stuff, that's where things go off the rails, right? It's like if a trader needs to build consistency first and foremost. And the only way to do and build consistency in your trading is to be consistent, right? So again, a lot of this stuff is not like earth-shattering, groundbreaking information. Most of you guys out there already know this stuff in terms of trading. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You know what you should try to avoid. So the real root of the problem is you, but what are we going to do to fix it, right? How are we going to practice more discipline? How are we going to practice more patience? How are we going to respect our rules, right? I believe you got to start setting up exercises, right? And I don't mean getting out there and lifting weight, that type of exercise. I mean setting up exercises in your trading to where, hey, I need to stick to this one thing to fix my problem, but I need to do it for 50 trades. I need to do it for 100 trades. Can I even do that, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, I will, inside of my community, I will put people on, sometimes people are struggling, right? And they're struggling with over trading, right? Or revenge trading when they take a few losses. Give yourself a 2 loss in a row minimum. If you lose 2 trades in a row, you walk away for the day. Can you do that? Let's just start there. Can you even do that? Can you do that for 5 days? Right? Can you do that for 5 days? If the answer is no, there's your problem, right? There's your problem. It's a lot of this stuff is very simple, and a lot of this stuff is very mindset, psychological. So, and again, I mean, but anyways, so I'm kind of looking at this low here. I'm looking at the yesterday's low, 21,251. Kind of see what this wants to do. We're still trending below all my supply here, so pressure is still to the downside until we get something to kind of crack. Again, I might be interested in throwing on a trade or two on an evaluation account. By the way, guys, I mean that Apex, again, I know there's Apex haters out there. It is what it is. But for the price, what you can get, like, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. If you're new to trading, you should not, okay, when I say new to trading, if you're not taking payouts on a monthly basis, you should not really be nitpicking which firm you're at. Find a firm that you can get into where you can invest a little skin in the game, meaning your own dollars, right? Because I never believe in paper trading. It does absolutely nothing for you. You can be a multi-million-dollar on paper, but you can't do it when it comes down to when you have a skin in the game. Go out there and get the cheapest firm. Try it for yourself. Everyone complains about the Apex denials and stuff. Knock on wood, I have not been denied from Apex. I do know people personally that have been denied from Apex. I also know that they figured out what they did wrong and they made that adjustment and they got paid on the next window. So it's not the end of the world if you do get a denial. It's not the end of the world like you're going to lose the money you made. It's not the end of the world. What you need to do is figure out the mistake that you made and fix it. Now, if you don't like it and you're so hell-bent on it, have you been paid out by Apex? If you've never been, like, what gets me is, like, there's some people that I see in comment sections on videos and stuff, and it's like they're going crazy over, like, they hate Apex, they hate the rules, they hate this and that. There's a dozen firms out there to go trade with. Why hate on the one? Like, go find one that you like and just save your energy, because in my opinion, hating takes a lot of energy, right? To sit there and type something out about how you don't like a firm when, let's be honest, probably 90% of the people talking shit have never even been paid through prop firms. So it's like you're just going off of hearsay, what someone else said or what's going on YouTube. And again, don't believe everything you guys see on fucking YouTube, right? A lot of this stuff is for clicks. A lot of this stuff that you see is to get the engagement up. A lot of this stuff is blah blah blah, right? At the end of the day, I'm a person that believes in, if you tell me that I can't walk through that brick wall, I'm not going to take your word for it. I'm going to hit my head on the brick wall and I'm going to tell myself, oh shit, I can't walk through the brick wall. Okay, they were right, right? Instead of just assuming what everyone says is correct. That's my rant on that. But let's see here. Still getting rejected here at this 20 period moving average or the 5 and 10 day moving average. My power trends, we're definitely still below that. So pressure is still down here. The 20 SMA has definitely been acting as a spot where you could start to jump some shorts every time it starts to test that area. Unless we were to close above it, essentially you could be looking for those rejections off of the 20 period and then kind of shorting it back down to the middle of the range. Now, we're in a 35-point range here. If you kind of look from 300 to 340, 30 to 40 point range here, up and down, up and down. It makes trading a little bit more difficult. Again, if you are like a range bound trader where you do exceptionally well shorting the highs and buying the lows, this is perfect little price action for you to get in here and take a few points up and down and continue that madness. For me, I'm more of a momentum breakout trader. I'm more of a catch the start of a trend trader. So this style of trading I can do, but it doesn't really fit my personality that well, and I tend to get chopped up a little bit more than I would like to a lot of the times. So being that I understand myself as a trader, I got to be careful, right? I got to be careful. And this is where I have to really, practice the patience. And, a lot of the times the patience and stuff just comes from experience, right? Like, I know that I've taken these trades before where it's like, I know in the past I've looked at this candle that's printing right now, guys. I've looked at this candle and I've told myself, shit, it's time to short. This baby's gonna go. We're gonna test, yesterday's lows. I jump in, 20-point bounce, I'm out. Right? How many times has that happened to you? Or I've also done the same thing. Great, we're pulling right back into the day's low. This puppy's gonna bounce. I'm gonna catch it at the lows and I'm gonna ride this if it does break the trend. And it continues to go lower. So I'm a big break and confirm guy. I'd like to see the lows get broken and then perhaps we confirm that. So lows have been broken here. We still got 2 minutes on this 5-minute candle before it closes. So at this point now, if this does extend all the way down to 250s, I'm going to have to let the trade go altogether. If this does get a little bit of a bounce and then we get a following candle to confirm this low of day breakdown, I might be interested in a little bit of a quick scalp there. So I'll kind of have to see how this candle plays out. We got about a minute and a half before I'll be ready to do anything here. Let's kind of see. Curious to know how you guys have been doing out there. How have you guys managed the holiday trading since last week? You guys doing okay? I mean, I know the ranges are big. It's not the easiest to trade, but again, as long as we're not, losing 100 accounts and selling the wife and kids to stay in business here, I think we'll be all right. Also, guys, on the way in, make sure to smash that like button. It really helps out the channel. So I'll be looking at this low here. If I can get in somewhere below, what is this? 278.5. If I get in somewhere below 278, I might be interested in a little bit of a scalp with anticipation that the potential move could kind of flush into 250s. Again, I won't be looking for 250 to get tagged. I'll just be looking for a little bit of a quick scalp. Personally, what I would like to see would be a little bit of a bigger bounce, rejection, and then come screaming down. So we'll have to see here. New to futures trading. I have done equities before. Do you offer one-on-one sessions? Yeah, I do one-on-one sessions. So that's what my whole community is about. Very small community, very tight knit. A lot of active traders in there who trade each and every single day. So what we do is we kind of do these things each and every single day. In gold members, we do like what I'm doing right now. We'll go over price, we'll talk strategy, blah blah blah, right? We'll look at levels. We have a bunch of channels in there. I've got a course in there as well, kind of outlining all of my strategies. But the cool thing is because I sit here all day anyways and do this trading stuff. I trade full time for my living. So I have no problem sitting at the computer. And what we do is if a trader needs to do like a one-on-one session, you can do one-on-one session a week. So typically I like to see some data first. So like I don't normally like when, let's say, someone joins and it's like the first day they're like, hey, what's wrong with my trading, right? I can give you ideas as to what could be wrong with your trading, but typically I like to see like, okay, the last 20-30 trades, what's the problem, right? I need to know what you're trading. I need to know where the commonalities are. I need to see the stats. I need to hear how you're trading, strategies, setups that you're trading, what time window you're trading. So I need at least a little bit of data. But sure, once we get all of that data, I'm willing to set up a 30 to 1 hour call a week with any trader. So I'm in this trade here short. Let's see if I can get a little bit of a pop here. The last thing I want to see is a little bit of a down move, wick down, and then it spikes back up. I'm only looking for 5 points here, guys, and I just got filled. So that's that. Again, we're trading evaluations here, so we're trading this very loose. What are we up here? 995 on Apex. 6 trades today. Average trade time is 1 minute. I did take a losing trade in there. Where's the losing trade at? Yeah, see, I took a losing trade of $360, but we have made, where the hell is it at? We have made $1,400, but we lost what is this? $360. So it is what it is. Decent win rate today, 83%, 16%. Again, it's an evaluation. It's an evaluation. I trade evaluations very, very loose. And at the price of 16 bucks, it's like, I'm just not going to not take these trades, right? So like I said, the target in mind here is the 251. I'd like to see a sweep of yesterday's lows and see kind of how price wants to react down there. Again, if you are short, definitely be mindful that you're coming into a prior day low. Doesn't have to get there. So if you are green, you're all profitable. I'm a big fan of just taking profits, right? Just locking it up. I hate the attitude of, if I just hold it a little bit more, let me see what happens. I hate the idea of, let me take one more trade after I'm already green mentality. I hate that shit. Like, just take the money that you make, lock it up, come back tomorrow, theoretically speaking, like come back next week, and then continue your trading, right? So, or switch to another account. Like if you just took this trade through low of day and you took it for a winner and you're looking for that next trade setup now, maybe you're looking to see if we sweep prior day low, or maybe you're looking for the bounce, maybe you're looking for the reversal. I don't know. People look for different things. Maybe you're looking for continuation. I don't know. If you took a winning trade on the short, move into another account, right? Like don't take it on the same account, spread out the risk. So that way you're kind of spreading out your probabilities of taking that losing trade as well, right? That is the secret for me, okay? Like what has done well with prop firms versus if you were just trading on one singular personal account is that when you're trading on a personal account where you've got one account, guess what? Every trade you take, that P&L is going to reflect each and every single trade you take. So my mindset in my personal account for where I trade my options is if I take a loss or two, I'm going to have to be done on the day because I'm not going to allow a loss or two to spiral into a big red negative day, a tilt day, a blowout day, because I'm trying to crawl back. I'll just understand that I wasn't seeing the market clearly, or I wasn't, market wasn't cooperating with my system that day. I'll come back tomorrow. Versus with prop firms, you have a big advantage because you can go out there, and I'll just give a general example. You can go out there and get 10 accounts, right? Theoretically speaking, you can have as many as you want. But let's say you have 10 accounts. Truthfully speaking, if you're going to lose 3 to 4 trades out of 10 trades in a day, you can go out there, take one trade setup that aligns with your strategy on each separate account if you're given the opportunity, meaning you're getting the setups, not just punching buttons. And essentially, you're going to have 5 or 6 accounts be green today and maybe 2 or 3 be red. Maybe one of them's flat. What's wrong with that? And then from there, all you do is let days pass. Like if you guys want to actually start taking payouts and you want to start passing evaluations, that's how you do it. You take it day by day, you take it trade by trade, account by account. Now, can you go out there, copy trade 10 accounts, get in on a big move, pass all 10 of them in one trade? Sure. Okay, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about funded accounts. I'm talking about how to manage. I'm talking about how to get paid out. I'm not talking about let me fucking go for a $3,000 winning trade right off the bat. We can all do that. Let's put on 10 contracts. Let's go for 16.5 points. We've all done it before, right? Either get smoked or you pass an evaluation. It is what it is. I'm talking about when you're funded, right? Like you got 5, 10 funded accounts. Don't sit there and hammer out 5 trades on one account. Don't go up $200, $300, $400 and then take one losing trade and you wipe it all out. And then sit there like, oh, you did something wrong. You did nothing wrong. You just ran into probabilities. Guys, we hit the 250. This is yesterday's low. Yesterday's low that we're coming into. That was a level. That was a target, right? So again, if I was more so of like a trend trader, I guess, I would have looked to hold this into target, but I'm a scalper. So I want to identify where the potential breakdown or breakout is. I want to identify where a potential change in trend can be, and I want to scalp that move. So for me, watching something go down another 20 points after my entry, does it sting? Maybe 5, 8 years ago it did, right? At this point now, I realize I can catch more scalps where I take 5, 6 points off of these moves and kind of move it along and stay consistent than I can always expecting it to get to my profit, like, or my expected measured potential move. Because a lot of times what happens is maybe it doesn't get there on this potential trade, and then next thing you know, you're in drawdown when you could have just taken a profit, right? And that all comes down to style, right? So every trader is different. I have people in the community who trade micros, and they're not looking for 5 points. They're looking for like 15, 20 points, 25 points on the NAS. So in those type of situations, you're trading micros because you're risking less per trade, right? Because the size is obviously a lot smaller. But what it allows you to do is allows you to sit in the trade a little bit longer to kind of get those extension moves, okay? So if maybe that's your style, because again, there's no right or wrong way to do this stuff, guys. Everyone has a style, right? You have to figure out what your style is. So if that's your style of trading where you can't do the quick in and outs, you're not comfortable with more size and watching the P&L fluctuate, then maybe your style is to trade a lot smaller and look for bigger moves, right? That's one thing you can do. So let's see here what we want to do at this prior day low. Can you just scalp in the first 2 hours of New York Open for futures? Of course, you can scalp in the first 30 minutes. I have traders. I have done it in the past as well. I have multiple setups that align within the first hour. A lot of them have to do with opening range breaks, but there's a couple of like momentum plays in there. But there's times where I have got into a trade within the first 30 minutes and it was a winning trade, and I wrap it up for the day. It might be a $250, $350 winner, and I'll take it across 2 accounts, and I'll be done for the day. That's it. No one, like, that's a big misconception, that you have to absolutely sit here and look for every single move. The only time you're sitting at the screens, you're doing 2 things. You're back testing / journaling, okay? Or you're trading. We're not sitting at the screens hoping to find something. Let me see what the market does. I don't care what the market does after I make money. The market can go down a 50 gajillion points. Doesn't matter, right? Once you make money, you're done. Once you identify your edge, which is the setup that you're taking, right? Once you identify it, once you take that trade, you're done. There is no reason to continue trading. Like, well, I want to make more. Guess what? You're going to get smoked. I'm just going to tell you that. You're going to get smoked more times than not. Now, there's going to be days where you're going to be scalping here, there 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I don't know. Some of you guys are taking 50 trades a day out there. But there's going to be times where, you're going to sit there and trade and make more money. I'm not saying that if you win one trade to stop trading, okay? Depends on the circumstance. If it's an evaluation, then hammer it, right? Take your setups. If it's a funded account and you make $200, $300, $400, walk away or go trade another account, right? I believe in having trade windows. So if you don't have like a trade window, a designated time that you're looking to take trades, I think you're at a very big disadvantage, because the market moves different at different times of the day. And if you're used to trading the first 2 hours of the day and you're not used to trading during lunch or after lunch, you're going to find it extremely difficult. You're going to find it extremely choppy or extremely this or that. If you don't do well off the open, you're going to find it that you never can win because the range is so damn big and you just get stopped out of everything, but you do really well after lunch. Like, these are all things that need to be identified as you take trades, right? Because not everyone fits into the same mold. Like, not everyone is going to be the same style of trader. You have to find what's comfortable for you. My go-to setup, I mean, I've got a bunch of them. Curtis. I mean, I'm a momentum trader. I'm looking for change in trends. I'm looking for mean reversions. I'm looking at opening range breakouts and breakdowns. I'm looking for continuation. There's setups in all of that. So for example, I don't know when you just joined, Curtis, but I took this short setup through low of day. So through 21,285, I got into that trade. I took a scalp on it, and that was it. With the intention, with the idea of, hey, if we break 285 and that gets confirmed, right? So I want to see low of day get broken, and then I want to see it get confirmed. There's potential that this could trade into yesterday's low of 21,251. So that was the whole idea. And I mean, Curtis, 251 was my measured move. I got out way before 251. This son of a bitch is trading at 215, right? So go figure that, right? But again, like I was kind of explaining, my style is really not to, like, I'm not looking for these long extension moves. I'm just looking to identify what's a good level, what's a good breakout, what's a good continuation or reversion. Let me scalp it. A few points here, a few points there, you wrap it up, right? Flip through accounts, wrap it up. Market down 200 again. Market down % today. And the only reason why I don't look for these nice moves, like, again, it's hard, especially in the Nasdaq, to hold these moves, right? Because of the volatility a lot of times. But the only reason why I fit more into the mold of, I'll take my 5 points, I'll take my 10 points, right? is because I know, based on my data, again, your data could be different, but based on my data, I can find a lot more of those winning trades than I can the 30, 40, 50 point movers, right? On a day in and day out basis. So my win rate naturally will be higher, like today, it is, what is it? I said it earlier, 83%. And I've taken 6 trades. So I lost 1 and I've won 5. My win rate will naturally be higher only because I'm trading and looking for small profits, right? But you can have a trader that looks for 20, 30, 40 point moves, and maybe they can lose, right? 4 trades, and that one trade makes up for everything, right? Like, let's say, for example, you got a 10-point stop loss and you lose 3 trades in a row. You just lost 30 points essentially on 3 different trades, but your winning trade, you won 50 points. So you're net positive 20 points, right? But you only won 1 trade out of 4. There's a lot of traders who do that. Guys, look here for a reversal. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 candles in a row red. Could have a little bit of reversal, a back test into 251. Could have a back test into 251. If you use a low wick as a stop here, 208, right? You want to see 208 get held. If 208 gets held, next candle opens up and kind of confirms this, you can get a little bit of a back test into 251. This is very dangerous. It's like kind of catching a falling knife going against a trend, but see if we can get a little bit of a pop here. Might still continue to push lower. Definitely low of day has to be a stop loss on that if someone's going to jump momentum on that. Looks like it's going to push lower though. You want to kind of see what this candle wants to do here. If this candle wants to set up and not put in a new low, you're going to have a little bit of a bounce opportunity into 251. If there's going to be continuation, then this candle's going to kind of close a little weak, and then the next candle will confirm 208 to the downside. So there's still a lot of time left on this 5-minute candle. How many contracts do I normally trade? I normally trade 1 or 2 minis. So a lot of my trades is normally like either a $100 winner or $200 winner, somewhere in between there. And then there's outliers where sometimes I'll get into a trade and it goes up 7-8 points in my favor, and that $200 winner is like 280. But you know, I'm not going to sit here and say I make $1,000 a trade. I make $500 a trade. I don't do that. $100, anywhere between 100 and 250 is my sweet spot. And I look for a few trades like that a day, and that's it. Got it. I got my 5 points on that bounce. So that, something like that. That's why I was a little quiet here, guys. I was trying to manage this trade. So something like this is, I'll tell you what I look for. I'll tell you what I looked for on this. This is nothing more than pure price action. It was just pure price action, pure momentum came to a standstill. What I'm looking at here is 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles in a row. Okay, we broke through over low of day. We broke through yesterday's lows. We basically swept that price, right? So we came down and we swept it. This 5-minute candle opened up and immediately went lower and then put in a big wick. So what I was thinking on this particular candle is this: you can use 208 as a stop. Why 208? Because that's the low wick of this candle. If there's any momentum to go for a little bit of a bounce here and back test into these 240s, 250s, it's going to happen right here, right now. That does not mean that this is the low of day. That just means, hey, maybe there's a little bit of profit taking here. Maybe there's a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a rest for sellers to kind of reload, right? And if you want to trap some buyers, what do you want to do? You want to trap into supply, which is going to be closer to that 251. Now, price is still very, very weak. Another thing of confluence here is there's data out there that says for the past 12 months, the average consecutive red and green candles on the Nasdaq is anywhere between 5 and 6.5 candles. So when you start looking at moves, 1 candle red, 2 candles red, 3 candles red, 4 candles red, sometimes we get those 5 candles red, and you're into a previous area of supply or demand, you can start to look for an immediate like reversion, right? An immediate reversion. Again, It's not a reversion that is saying that this is the low of day and we're going to go scream towards highs. That's not even a thought of mine. It's just, can I get in here? Can I take 5 points on this reversion? Can I make $100 and can I get the fuck out? Right? That's it. What is my win rate, profit loss ratio, especially if you trade as a scalper for the first 2 hours? Again, it's gonna what Nemolicious. It's gonna vary because again, put it this way. My trading on all my funded accounts was locked up as of last week. Again, I lie. I traded a funded account yesterday and today, but 95% of all my funded accounts were locked out last week before Christmas. Why? There's less market participants home, okay? What does that mean? You're not having a lot of big traders, a lot of big price action going on. The inexperience is going to say, well, what do you mean? Where markets are moving a lot? Yes, because there's no one defending price. So it's going to take low volume to really get these big expansions. Like, let's be honest. I remember specifically yesterday and specifically at a point in time today, the average true range on 1 5-minute candle was damn near 50 points. That's not normal. That's not like, oh, hey, that's the way things are. No, there's nobody home defending price. So you get a little bit of momentum going and that thing is going to start to snowball very, very quickly. Now there's an advantage and there's a disadvantage to that. Because if you're right on the move, you're going to make money quick. Okay, you're gonna hit take profit quick, or you're gonna make a lot of money very, very quickly if you don't have a hard take profit. The disadvantage, you're gonna get stopped out of a hell of a lot of trades. Why? Because you can essentially be in the right move, like in the right direction of the move, but because of the volatility, because of the range, let's say someone's got a 10-point stop, 15-point stop. Hell, let's say you got a 20-point stop, 25-point stop. The chances of you getting tagged out for a loss are far greater this past week than they are during normal trading, right? So coming into that, you have to understand that your game plan on a day in and day out basis has to adjust, right? And that's what I tell the traders in my community is like, just because you have a strategy, just because you have a certain take profit, a certain, stop loss, things need to be adjusted and not just like adjusted for this one trade. Things need to be adjusted on a day in and day out basis. If you could come, like, I'm going to be completely frank with you guys. If you can come into the market and every day say, I'm going to look for 20 points and I'm going to risk 10 points on this setup and I'm going to make money forever. I don't know what you're on, but it's just not going to happen because volatility changes, right? The VIX changes. The ranges change on a day in and day out basis. The market cycles are different. So when you get into that, right, when you get into knowing that things are going to be different on a week to week basis, you've got to make some little minor adjustments. So the minor adjustments can be, maybe you're going to sit out trading. Maybe it's going from trading 1 mini contract to 5 micros to dampen that up. So you can open up your stop loss and take the same amount of risk that you wanted to take on the 1 mini, but you can now open up the stop loss because the range is so big and trade 5 micros, right? It's going to maybe a quicker take profit, right? So a lot of times when we get into markets like this, where these moves are huge and it looks like you can make a lot of money, I will go down and cut my take profit down. There's been times where I've gone down into trading 2 or 3 minis for a 3-point take profit and 12-point stop loss, because I know that the probability on these big moves is going to hit my 3-point take profit a lot faster than if I look for the whole fucking 20 points. Does that make sense? Because if I look for the 20 points, that means I've got to be sitting in this thing through all of this up and down movement. And I don't know about you guys, but I get seasick. So I'm not trying to sit in here, and watch this thing whip around 30 points. I want to identify the level and get in on it. Now, when the ranges are small, okay, then I'll look for 10, 15, 20 points on a move. Why? Because I can manage my stop loss a lot better on that. I can't, it's like we were talking in my community this morning. There was no way this morning in the first hour of trade you could have managed the stop loss on like 55 points risk ATR. No way. Like, either you're right on the move because the timing was perfection and that move was going to work, or you got stopped out. Like there's no in between. Like there was no way to manage it. right? Same thing yesterday. Um, I already answered that question. What is your win rate and profit loss ratio, especially as you trade the scalper first 2 hours? Like I just answered, I kind of went over that. But again, yeah, like as long as I'm able to get somewhat of a decent read on the market where I can try to do my best to manage my risk. Again, there's times where I'll tell myself this as well. I've got to wait the first 30 minutes. I can't trade this volatility because I can see how the first 1 minute, 2 minute candles opened up. If I can't, play in that sandbox, meaning I can't manage my risk the way I would like to, I've got to sit out for 30 minutes and at least watch some structure get formed. That way I can have a little bit of a better level. And then from there, it's going to give me time to decide, okay, there's only two things I can do. I can size all the way down, open up my stop loss to withstand the volatility. And look at the bounces working, guys. We're testing the 250s. Or I can keep my size the same, but I can cut my take profit down. So that way, if I do get into the move and it hits, I can just get filled in and out very quickly. Yeah, you can't hold your losers too long. Yeah, so you can't hold them too long, Clark. Jay, you got to be quick on it, right? So, like, I'll just ask straight up, Jay, what's your normal stop loss, right? What's your normal stop loss on a trade, on a setup? Because the answer will be simple. It's just, do we want to do it as a trader, right? The answer will be simple. And also, guys, if you take a look at the price now, just because it bounced a little bit, I caught quick 5 points on this bounce, but it doesn't mean that this bounce is strong. This is nothing more than a dead cat bounce. All we're doing is back testing yesterday's low that is acting now as resistance, right? Yesterday's low couldn't hold up as support. We blew through that level. So now all we're doing is back testing here. This pressure is still down until we start closing back inside that range from yesterday. $1,000, not sure the number of ticks. What size account are you trading? Trading a 50K-er? Okay, nice. That's not bad. I was gonna say that's a little bit of risk or a little bit too much risk for a 50K account. But so basically you're giving yourself 50 points of stop. But Clark, are you a trend trader where you're looking to catch the 30, 40, 50 point moves to the upside? Because I would find it hard to believe that you're scalping with a 50 point stop. Yes. Okay. So Clark, so that's gonna be the problem. That stop loss is way too wide for scalping, right? Because you got to think about it like this: how many contracts are you trading? I believe probably one, maybe trading one. Why do I prefer scalping versus trend trading? Well, because it fits my personality better. Fits my personality better. That's the simplest answer I can give. Because the way my brain works, look at the bounce, guys, right into 251, right back in the range. Beautiful bounce there. Um, I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't know about you guys, but we called that fucking down tick to the T, right? 208 as a low of day stop. Use it, ride it. Um, gosh, I'm getting blown up here. Give me 1 second, guys. Uh, 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 uh. Hitting our heads right at supply here. I got a little bit of supply here at 66. I got next supply at 285. 285 to 290 if this wants to continue. That was a hell of a bounce. Uh if anyone took this bounce here and used a 208 as a stop, throw a 1 in the chat. Again, aggressive to kind of catch a falling knife like that, but our risk was pretty well defined using 208. If you did take a bounce at any point here on this momentum, I would this is me, this is opinion, you could do whatever the hell you want to do. My opinion, if you have taken a bounce, get out of the trade. Like, just get some profits. Again, I'm nobody, I can't tell you guys what to do, but just, gosh darn it, lock something up, right? Lock something up. And throw a 1 in the chat if you did take it. So yeah, so back to you, Jay. You're using way too much stop loss for 150 bucks to 200 bucks, because what you're looking for is 5 to 10 points and you're risking 50. It's way too skewed, right? If I were you, I'd go down to more of like a 1-to-1, right? I'd go to like maybe $100 to $200 profit for $300 to $400 risk. For sure. For sure, cut it in half. Hell of a bounce. Hell of a bounce. Yeah, Jay, just adjust that. I think you'll do all right. Because when you do take a loss, Jay, it's going to take us way too many winning trades to get back to scratch. You know what I'm saying? Versus if we cut it down, even 400, Jay, if we cut it down to 400 bucks, right? That's 20 points of risk. I'm comfortable a lot of times starting out my trades with the 20-point risk and then moving it up as it's going in my favor to try to get the risk cut down as close to break even as possible. But even if you risk $400, right, and you're making 200 bucks, it only takes you 2 trades to get back to where we were at if you lose, versus like 8. Yeah, well, the thing is this, Jay, the thing is this. I would take this. Just start there. Just start there with the $400. And like, I'd be curious to see what those numbers are. And the only reason why I think it's taking you so long to pass that evaluation is because that loss for the win that we're taking is just too big of a hit to come back from. So it's like essentially we lose 3 trades and we're done, right? I mean, I need more trades. I need to be able to work myself out of drawdown on a day-to-day basis versus like chasing one loss for a week, you know? When you have a 15 or 20 point stop, do you let it hit your stop or do you kill the trade early before hit your stop? That, Matthew, that depends on how I'm feeling, right? So again, I've explained this to my community like dozens of times, right? But here's the thing, guys. Your stop loss is for World War III. Look at the bounce, guys. Who took the effing bounce? Look at the bounce. Jesus. This thing's up 100 points, guys. Son of a bitch. Oh, that'll make you kick yourself in the ass. I mean, we had that perfectly. The thought idea, I'm going to get to that question right now. The idea was this on the bounce. God, again, it's only an evaluation, so I can't look at this fucking bounce. I can't be too upset. It's just an evaluation anyways. That was an evaluation passer though, right there, boy. I'll tell you that much right now. That's an evaluation passer right there, that bounce. But the idea on this trade, the thought idea, was the red line you guys see on the screen. That's yesterday's low. Okay, so I took 2 trades on this last 30 minutes. I allowed it to break yesterday's low and then confirm yesterday's low. I took it for 5 points. Yippee, right? Once we swept and we had no more momentum, I took the dead cat bounce here using 208 as a stop, right? Why? The only thing why is we were coming off 4 consecutive red candles. We got the sweep. We got no more momentum. And I was looking at this candle to get confirmed. If we could start taking this out and making a push up towards this 5-day moving average, then I can essentially manage my risk at 208, and I can try to take another 5 points, right? Yippee. This thing ran 100 points, but whatever. And that was it. That was the idea. And the original idea was to backtest at 251, but obviously that got steamrolled. Yeah, okay, so back to that stop loss. That's what's up, Damien. Good job. Back to that stop loss. So your stop loss is for, market destruction, right? World War III. You get into a trade, and the damn thing just is, from the minute you buy or sell, it just goes against you, right? It's to protect you. Now, there's times, I'll give you a perfect situation here. I'll give you a perfect situation after I take this phone call. Give me a second, guys. All right, guys. So back to that stop loss, right? So your stop loss is just to protect you. That's your max pain, right? So when you go into a trade, anytime you click buy or sell, you should always, I believe, know what are even this, even if you don't run a stop loss, like where it's a hard stop loss, because the way I was taught, like, again, this is like a long time ago, guys, but you don't run a stop loss, right? Why? Because if you can't, listen to this. This is what was told to me. If you can't take yourself out of the trade because it's failing or it's not working, you're not a trader. Let that sink in. If you can't emotionally take yourself out of the trade because it's not working, you are not a trader. Let's throw an asterisk on that. Sometimes there's things beyond your control. You get into a trade, boom, something in the market just happens, and you watch a 40-point candle, right? So we want to protect ourselves, okay? That's fine. So we protect ourselves with the stop loss. Let me give you an example. Or you're oversized. Let me give you an example. Exactly. If you're oversized, you're gonna destroy yourself. Let me give you an example. Let's say I get into a trade, right? For those of you guys who've come across my videos before, I get into a 20 play. Let's say I take that 20 play with a 15 or 20 point stop, as Matthew's saying here, and the trade goes up 2 points, and then it comes down 5 points, and then it goes back to break even, and then the next candle comes out and it's still positive 3 points. Now I'm down 10 points. Now it's up 2 points, and I see it's stalling out and it's not working. I'll cut it. That's a situation where I'll cut the trade. Sometimes I will cut it, and 3 minutes later I would have got paid. I don't care. I don't work for the market. These charts work for me. Okay? So if they're not working for me, I'm out. I'm not wasting my time. For the fellas out there, I'm not going to the bar, and I'm not going to spend $200 on drinks to the girl sitting down at the end of the bar for a smile. Okay? If there's any ladies in here, I'm sorry. But the thing is that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to waste our time, guys. We're not wasting our time. You know, we're not wasting our time. Either it works or it doesn't, right? But your stop loss is set in place. That way you can give it wiggle room and you know what you're expected to lose if it fails, right? So if you have a 15-point stop loss and you're running one mini contract, you know you're going to lose, what is it, $300? You better be okay with that. Now, I asked this question a lot of times. If you take a trade and you are never okay with losing $300 and you're going to get upset if the trade doesn't work, then you're oversized. You shouldn't be trading one mini contract. Maybe you should be trading 5 micros where your max loss is 150. Can you stomach that? That's the adjustment you need to make until emotionally you're ready to trade bigger size. That's the fix. Fix it, right? No one's going to be here to hold your guys' hand and do this kind of stuff for you. Figure out what needs to be fixed and fix it. Figure out what size you can emotionally control and trade that size. And then just keep taking your trades. Win, lose, 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 win, 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 win. It's all the same shit. It's just a numbers game, guys. It's just a numbers game. So yeah, there is situations where I don't let the trade go to my stop loss. And that is what can kind of keep your equity curve kind of flat to going up, is by not letting it hit your stop loss a lot of the times, because you're a human being and you have a brain and you can see that the trade is not working. But this is what I discuss a lot with people once I see numbers, right? Like, I do these one-on-one calls with people in my community. So if they come to me with 50 trades, right? And we're looking at the data and their average winning trade time is 1.2 minutes, right? So a minute, 30 seconds, let's say. But their average losing trade time is 5 minutes. What is that telling you? What is that telling you? That if the trade's not working within, 1 to 2 minutes, you got to kill the trade. Guys, I just took 5 points on the 20 play. 5 points on the 20 play here. 5 point. I had a stop buy order sitting already above 319. Above 319. Guys, throw me a 1 if you guys are familiar with the 20 play. I know this is the first YouTube live stream I've done in a minute. Throw a 1 in the chat if you guys are familiar with my 20 play. No one's in the chat. Jeez, do you guys even know who the hell I am? Have you guys ever seen any of my videos? There we go. There we go, EP. I got 1. I got 1. There we go, Jay. Man, I got 2, right? I got 45 people in here. 2 people have ever watched my videos. Anyways, well, there was an example of a 20 play. There is an example of a 20 play. There we go. There we go. Now we're getting some people. Now we're getting some people. Now we're getting some people. JW is new. I just took 4 points, been using the 20 play. Nice. Yeah, so there was, you see, but again, here's the thing. A lot of times, like, there's 2 ways to play the 20 play that I go over, right, in my room. But when I see something like this, when I see a 60-point candle, and when I see over 100-point bounce from the low of day, I'm not thinking I'm going to get 30, 40, 50 points off this. I'm thinking scalp, right, Barbara? I'm thinking scalp, right? So when I'm thinking scalp because, right, we're up 100 points from the low of day, and because this is a reason why candle of 60 points, I've got to be thinking scalp. I can't be thinking I'm going to get 50 points off this thing. This move is already extended, right? So if I get into this move and I can take 5 points, I'm out all day. And again, I have a bracket on here, and I'm running a 20-point stop loss to start and a 5-point take profit. That doesn't mean that if it went up 2 points and it's down 10 points and it stays there for like 3, 4, 5 minutes, that I'm going to allow it to go down to 20 points. I might just cut it at a 10-point loser if it's not working for me in a timely manner, right? But I'm going to go into the trade with a little bit of protection with a 20-point stop and a 5-point TP. Again, why? This is falling in line. Again, I'm trading with Apex here, and I've had the same bracket since I was trading my PA account earlier. But this will fall in line with their risk to reward ratio, right? So I just want to make sure that I'm taking care of the ducks in a row for me. You know. So I want to make sure that you know, all my ducks are in a row. And again, you know, it's like you're gonna win at a high win rate. It's really the only thing with like scalping is when you take a loss, sometimes your loss, or you know, a lot of times your loss is going to be a little bit bigger than your take profits. Um, you got to do your best to manage those emotions. You got to do your best to manage those emotions. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you need to go all crazy and start over trading. Like I'll give you, like, let me just give you an example. Let's say that this trade did not work and it was a loser for me. I'm not going to get upset and try to chase. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go up to the top of my screen. I trade on TraderVate. I'm going to click the accounts. I'm going to bring the drop down. I'm going to go right into another account. Makes sense? So the next setup that I was to get, I'll take it on a new account. Sometimes that account maybe has a trade on it already. Sometimes it's a fresh account that hasn't been traded today. And that's it. And I will continue that process until I'm done trading or the day's over, which I'm normally done trading way before the day's over. And sometimes I trade all my accounts and sometimes I only trade half of them, you know, and sometimes I trade a couple of them. Because sometimes you take a handful of trades and you win, and it's like, well, why am I trading? I made $600 today. I'm like, what am I trading still for? Right? I'll get to the other accounts tomorrow. I'm not stressing it. But what it also does is it allows you to forget the previous trade, because in this game, we need a short memory, like a short-term memory. Like if you're sitting there fixated and trying to analyze why the trade didn't work and what happened and the market this and market that, and oh, you're going to complain about the price action and complain about the range, you're just doing yourself a disservice. Just get into another account and take a trade on another account. I can guarantee you, you're going to forget about the last losing trade you had. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's only a big deal when you're way oversized and you take $1,000 hit. You know, then you're like stressing out about it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take this one off. This was a previous low day here. That's gone. Um, 53 people in here. How many likes do I have? Guys, could you do me a favor? Smash the like button for me. I would kindly and highly appreciate it. Pressure is still down. I mean, that was a good bounce, 100-point plus bounce. But the overall momentum is still down. Like, even look at the 1 hour chart. Whoops. Let's bring this into frame so you guys can see it. Look at the 1 hour chart. So even the 1 hour chart has been power trending all morning, right? Since we lost the 20 period moving average, since we lost the power trend, it's just been down all day. So, you know, when you get to a point like this where you start looking at it, it's like, if you're not trying to take a bounce like off the absolute low of day where you have another area of confluence like over here, yesterday's low, like you're almost better off ignoring the bounces and getting back in on the shorts, right? Last thing you want to do is try to bounce long a million times. It's probably not going to work out for you that well, especially when you're power trending to the downside and you're kind of just, you know, all of the bounces are getting faded. Again, that'll come with experience too. Um, no, I only trade one account at a time. I never copy trade. Never, never, never. The most I will copy trade is 2 accounts. I don't know if that's really, you know, it's copy trading, but people aren't going to consider that copy trading. 2 accounts max. And typically when I'm already green on one account, that way I have a little bit of cushion in case I do take a loss. But the reason why I don't copy trade is not because I don't want to take out a big payout all at once. It's because I don't want to potentially go on tilt on a bad day. If I read the market wrong one day and I'm just not feeling it, you know, maybe I had a late night, whatever the case may be, maybe the market's just not cooperating with my strategy that day. I am not trying to run the risk of losing all my accounts. I'm not trying to run the risk of going on tilt, right? And it allows me to spread out my risk. And I've told people this in the past, but it's like, if you have $2,500 worth of drawdown on one account, and I was to tell you, do you want me to give you $2,500 to trade with, or do you want me to give you $25,000 to trade with? Which would you take? I hope everyone would take the 25K, right? So it's essentially how I'm spreading out my risk, because a lot of times, you know, you might take a losing trade, and if you're copy trading, let's say on 10 accounts, and you're down 500 on all accounts, what about if the next trade setup that I was going to take was a winner? Yeah, maybe I come back, crawl my way back on those accounts, but I would rather just be green on that second account and then work my way out of the account that took a loser like tomorrow or something, or whenever I get around to it again. And I'll just kind of go through my accounts that way. And it also staggers out payouts. So sometimes you got 2 or 3 accounts that are ready to go like this week, and then there's like another account that's ready to go like the next week, and then like 2 weeks later you got like 4 accounts that are ready to go. So you're kind of always steadily taking out cash. Again, I don't have 20 accounts or nothing like that. I only have 9, and I kind of have them all like kind of staggered out a little bit. Um, what size would you take on an XFA with Top Step 1 mini? Is it fresh? Is it fresh? What up, Vega? Is it fresh? Is it a fresh account? Like you just got into the XFA? Or do you have some profit to play with in there already? To be completely honest, I would take a solid 5 days and trade 2 micros. And I would not worry about trying to hit $200. I would not worry about none of that. I would just take a handful of trades for 5 days, allow the emotions to wear off of the excitement of being in a funded account and potentially getting paid, and try to build a little bit of a cushion. If you can go up $300, $400, $500 in a week, great. Now you got a little bit of a cushion. Now maybe you can kind of play around with that one mini contract and kind of manage it a little bit. And again, I'm not a big advocate of getting in there, guys, and trying to this is for Top Step users, of trying to get in there and make over $200 for 5 days in a row to get paid out. I don't care about that. This is how I treat my funded accounts. I want to get paid once a month. Every 30 to 45 days, I want those accounts to take one payout. So I don't care when I take a payout in the next 30 to 45 days, right? I'm not trying to take it out in 5 days, because what you're doing is you're adding a lot of stress that doesn't need to be put on you, which again is playing into the prop firm's hand. Remember, it's us versus them. We're not playing into their hand. Make $200 over $200 5 days in a row, take 50% out. Great, sounds great. You guess what happens to a lot of traders? They fucking lose their account in less than 5 days because they're trying to hit that goal. Like, just take all the time you need. If you can get paid out, that's why I say scaling in this business is infinite, right? If you had 10 accounts and you took out $1,000 on all 10 accounts, it's $10,000 a month, right? I don't care if it takes you 35 days to do it. Have that mindset versus, if I make $400 the next 5 days in a row, I'm going to take out $1,000. What are we getting excited for about $1,000? Let's take out 10. Let's take out 10,000. Right? Let's take out 5,000. Let's take out 4,000. We're not worried about taking out half in 5 days. But I believe anybody, for any new funded account, just take a week and just slow it down. Really try to build the balance up a little bit. Have multiple accounts. It's the best approach for prop firms. Trust me, guys. I've spoken to a lot of people who take payouts. I've taken payouts. I take payouts. Like, again, it's not about flashing that you made $20,000. No one cares, right? No one cares. At the end of the day, did you put money in your pocket at the end of the month? Yes or no? Like, that's all that matters. You know, I'm not going to sit here and, like, back in the day, like, especially during the pandemic, I've been doing this for 12 years, right? Now, I haven't been profitable for 12 years. There was 2.5 years where I lost a lot of money, right? I lost a lot of money in my first 2.5 years. But I remember, especially during the pandemic trading, right? There was so many newer traders out there that were making huge gains during the pandemic, right? And you could see the writing on the wall. Guys were coming down to low of day. You can see the writing on the wall that they had no idea how to manage risk. They had no idea how to manage the money that was coming in, and that they just weren't trading the right way. And a lot of people lost a lot of money. They gave it all back. Meanwhile, I sat there and did the same thing I did prior to the pandemic, and what I'm doing now is just take my base hits and keep it rolling, right? Now, you're going to have more winning days. You're going to make more money during the good times because times are just good. Like, the market is just flowing, right? It's just grooving. But it doesn't mean that I'm trying to go out there and hit a bunch of home runs, you know? What's QuantView? They show people with 20 accounts. Funny how they only show the good days. Yeah, it's, again, you guys got to think, it's a lot of this stuff is marketing, guys. I don't know what QuantView is, but a lot of this stuff is marketing, right? So, wow, we're going to take out the low day again. Here we come. 209s. Remember it was a 208s area? Let's see if I'm not really interested in chasing this again. I'll kind of see the reaction down here at 208. Yeah, you guys got to think, a lot of this stuff is marketing. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. There's a lot of good traders out there, right? But it's a dollar in versus dollar out thing, right? So, oh man, this might be. We might sweep this low. The thing is I would like to see the low get swept and then confirmed if someone is looking to take continuation down. I probably would not take this on the first breakdown through the low. So the low is 208. I would probably wait for 208 to get broken and then see something after that and then see whatever low is. Overprice indicator. Okay. Yeah. So again, there, of course, you know, it's marketing, right? Like, do they pay to get in that room? Do they sell the indicator? Like, a lot of that's marketing, you know, which is, it's not like a knock on them. It's not a knock on them. I mean, it's a business practice. A lot of people use that business practice. Um, but I mean, because again, like if you were to go out, like I'm not gonna lie, like if I was to come on YouTube, right, out of all the videos I have, and every day just post up nothing but winning trades and nothing but P&Ls and nothing but payout certificates and all that crap, my channel would probably be 5 times as big. 5 times as big. But you know the deal that comes with that is you get a ton of people that are just chasing a payout, just chasing the golden goose, so to say, and they have no real idea how to trade. I don't want to work with those people. Again, not work with them. I don't want to trade with those people. I want to trade people who are realistic. Like, again, I'll sit here and tell anyone my strategy is not the best strategy in the world. It's simple. It has well-defined rules. It has well-defined risk. And I have multiple different strategies and multiple different entry models to trade. But by no stretch of the means does it work every single day. Does it work every single trade? Like, I'll be the first to tell you, you're going to get smacked. And if you don't know how to handle getting smacked, you're going to get smoked, right? So, you know, I'll take a lick, but I'm not going to get smoked, right? Let's see if this low of day gets broken through 08s. Up 1K on 10 micros. Love micros. Yeah, hey, take some profits. You know, sell out. Sell out of some of that. Lock some profits in on the way down. Move the stop loss. Should be at break even by now. Maybe their stop loss is even in profit, to be honest. Q is a good, but now we're... And that's the thing. This is the thing, guys. Here's the thing. All this new stuff, indicators, all this new stuff, you know, you got these like algos or whatever, you know, all this crap, all this new wave trading stuff with this weird terminology, guys, it's all rehashed, repurposed, rebranded, right? Like, I trade moving averages, I trade supply and demand, I trade momentum. It's not like I fucking I invented the wheel. Like, you know, I just found what works for me off of that, and I've worked it into a system that works for me. It doesn't mean that my shit's revolutionary. Like, it doesn't mean that the way that I see the market, no one else can see the market that way. We're all looking at the same charts, right? It's just, this is what works for me, and this is how I manage my risk, and this is how I manage my trades and my portfolio. Okay, maybe that might help somebody. Great. I'm not going to sit here and say, if you trade like this is the only way you're going to make money. It's not like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do, Nemo. Yeah. My trade window is from market open to lunchtime. That's where I trade. I'm just messing around here. It's New Year's Eve. I mean, I haven't done a YouTube live in a long time here. I wanted to see if anyone would still even come on these lives. I plan on doing a lot more YouTube lives, but after I trade with my room in the morning, and then kind of come on later on in the day. And that's the thing too, though, guys. Like, we can't be wrapped up in what did this person do? What did this strategy do? What did this indicator do? What is this YouTube channel saying, right? We have to get out there. We got to roll up our sleeves. We got to see what works for us. We have to make some adjustments to make it fit to how we trade, right? As an individual. and then we got to go from there. There's a lot of stuff that works. A lot of stuff works. And here's a spoiler for you guys. Every single strategy you guys see out there works. Every single indicator out there works in its own way. How do you manage it as the trader, right? That's what doesn't work for a lot of people. Is everyone thinks that if they can find this setup or this entry or use this indicator, that it's the end all be all, and it's far from that. Like, if it was that easy, everyone sitting in here would be a millionaire 10 times over. And that's what a lot of people don't like to hear. Like, you don't want to hear that. I get it. But I'm just telling you guys the truth. But I'm definitely not saying that this is impossible. Like, guys, I'm not the smartest. I'm not the sharpest and smartest tool in the shed, right? Like, if I can figure out this business and make it work for me, you guys can figure out this business and make it work for you as well. That's what's so cool about it, you know. It does take a little bit of time, and it takes a little bit of discipline and a little bit of patience. I trade New York. I trade market open till about lunchtime. I will trade after lunch, but it's typically like evaluations or something. Unless it's something that's really, really looks good. And I happen to be green on the day and I can afford a loss is when I will take the trades after that. But I'll be completely honest. I do not think that I don't think that most people can trade the open. Uh, I use a different variety of time frames depending on the strategy I'm looking to trade. I would say 75% of the time I'm living on the 5 minute. I will use the 1 hour and 30 minute for confluence or levels. And there is particular times where, let's say, the market is chopping around, I will go down all the way into the 1 minute and take a scalp. But I'm gonna pretty much live on the 5 minute time frame. A little bit of a double bottom here. On a 5 minute. If you get no follow through, sweep through the lows, which would probably be better if we swept. You want to see 208 get broken if you're looking for a bounce. Um, futures is like, it's the side hustle. Futures prop firms is a side hustle. I trade options. That's what I do by trade. But because of the leverage and because of the low barrier to entry in futures, I think that someone starting out should definitely be trading prop firms versus loading up personal capital and trading options. Options is extremely dangerous. Like, you can make a lot of money because of the leverage in options. It's extremely dangerous because if you get into, like, for example, my normal position size is 10 contracts, 10 to 15 contracts. If I go in Nvidia or Tesla, I'm in like for like, let's call it anywhere between $25 and $4,500. If that move doesn't go in my favor, I can be down $600-700, right? Now you have to have an account size that can handle that, but like, even if you were trading one contract for like 250, you're subject to lose $100 on a trade at any given trade, right? So if you can go buy 3 prop firms with $2,500 worth of drawdown for $100, what do you think your better option is there? Probably go get 3 prop firm accounts, right? Because I trade high beta, I trade tech stocks, I trade the Nasdaq already. It was only fitting and natural for me to, when I did come into futures, I was funded with Top Step for the first time in 2021. So when I came in, was it 3 years now? When I came into futures, it was only fitting that I did trade the NQ. I have obviously traded the ES, I've traded crude, I've traded gold, but by nature, I'm looking at the QQQ anyways. I was always looking at NQ futures for Confluence on my options trades. So it was only natural and fitting for me to stay here in the NQ. But yeah, like, full transparency, like 70%, and which I want to get this number closer to 50-50, but 70% of my monthly income is from futures or from options trading, and then 25% of it is from prop firms. Again, I would never sit here and tell you guys I make 30, 40, $50,000 a month from trading prop. I make like anywhere between $6,000 and $12,000 was my best month, but it averages between 6 and 8. But looking to double that number this year for sure. Just due to the fact that I'm going to spend more time actually, like, you know, getting more scalability going with more accounts. That's the thing, Jay. The open is like not for 90% of traders. It's very, very difficult to manage risk off the open. Like my biggest trades have been off the open, but I would be a liar to tell you that I have not blown more accounts in the first 30 minutes than any other time of the day. So typically, if I'm on an account or a couple of accounts that gets a winner in the first 30 minutes, those accounts are locked up. I'm done. I won't even trade those accounts. We could be coming down again here to break this low of day. There's that 205. There's that second attempt on that low of day through 208. Yeah, I scalp. I play Tesla and Nvidia are my two biggest stocks that I trade. Whew, if you were to ask me 3 years ago what I thought about SPX zero DTEs, I mean we were going heavy on those things. Very, very dangerous. Could make a lot of money, but very, very dangerous. Tesla, Nvidia. Oh shit, my bad, guys. Mm-mm. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anyone to trade SPX. If you're just starting out on options. Like if you were just starting out on options, I would stick to like AMD, maybe Apple, some slower movers that cost a little bit less. There's another little bounce opportunity here, guys. This type of previous 5-minute candle here, again, what I have to be completely honest, it's very difficult to trade these kind of bounces, right? This is a double bottom. Like in a perfect world, in a perfect situation where the market is like normal and it's not a holiday week and we're not like at the end of the year, like literally the last day of the year, like this would be a perfect trade for me long, okay? Because I would use the previous 5-minute candle low as a stop. Now the previous 5-minute candle low is about 34 points down. So that's like extremely a lot of risk. Like the only way I can see someone getting into this trade is like 1, 2, 3 micros, and you're risking like anywhere between 120 to like $150 on the trade, but you're trying to make something close to a 1-to-1. So you're expecting a bounce into 250, maybe even 260, and try to play it that way. Typically, I like to see these candles when they're like anywhere between 10 to 15 points, right? Because then that makes it an extremely low risk trade where you're not essentially risking anything and you can take a low risk opportunity here, even though you're going against a trend. So when you're going against a trend like that, it's all about how you're going to manage that risk. And 35 points for me is just way too much risk, because if I trade my normal position size on something like this, which is 1 or 2 contracts, and this thing pulls back, 15 points, 20 points, I'm going to be down $400 or $500 on a trade idea. No way, right? So that's why sometimes you gotta let these trades go, and maybe you gotta wait for more confirmation. So, you know, and a lot of times I'm not really looking for big moves on a type of play like this. It might be 5 to 10 points, but it's just time of day we're at right now. You know, there's about 2.5 hours left of the market of being open. We're the last day of the year. Like, I'm not stressing any of this jazz. How do I approach the 150k eval with 50k? You can do one and done. What do you mean, Al? What do you mean? Usually people that come from options switch over to futures end up staying in futures. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that. But I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So I'm comfortable with options. I don't need to, like, it's like this. If I make money and here's the bounce, right? Like, see what I mean? Like, you would have maybe had to sit through what, 15, 16, 17 points of pain, maybe 20 points of pain, but like you'd be getting paid now. It's just, we have to be able to figure out on trades like this, on an idea like this. This is a double bottom. The previous 5-minute candle was a great spot to use the low of day wick as a stop and get in for a little bit of a scalp to make a little bit of cash. But how can we manage that risk? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't have like full ported that, because that pullback would have blown you up. So we know that we can't trade it with big size, but how much size can we trade to where we can make something off of it, right? So over 238, it shot up to 247, so it only went up 9 points. So unless you were looking for sub 10 points on that, like, where's the middle ground, right? So where's the adjustments? Because you have to think about it. All we're doing is back testing yesterday's low. So you have to expect that yesterday's low is going to act as resistance, right? So if there's only potentially 10 points in that trade, but there's a potential 35 points worth of risk, that risk to reward is way skewed, but it shouldn't scare you off of the trade. It's just maybe you have to adjust, right? Maybe it's like trading a couple micros and taking a $30 winner here, $40 winner just to get in and out, right? It is what it is. Yeah, there you go. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's party time. What else? A big out. In 150k, it is rather hard to get a. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, I got you. Um, I'm gonna break that up, right? I'm gonna break that up. I'm not gonna look at the 150K on a 1 day pass, right? I will take more time to pass that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 days, 4 days. I'll break it up. If I can make between $500 and $800 a trade, trading the same kind of ideas that I have, and then maybe making like $1,500, $2,000. Like if you can make $1,500, $2,000, I just do that for as many days as you need to. Or I mean, again, it depends on the business model, right, Al? Like it depends. Like I got guys in the room, they're passing 300Ks in a day, like in the first hour of trade. They're hyper scalping the 1 minute chart. They're max sizing out. So you can definitely, if you have the business approach where it's like, hey, I'm going to buy 10 accounts and I know that I'm probably going to lose 6 of them, 7 of them, but I'm going to pass 3 of them. If that's the idea, then I would just go max size and take your normal trade setups. But if you're going to just buy a couple and you're just going to trade them relatively smart, right? The right way, you're going to need to take at least a week or two. I just know for me, I mean, I can do it, but I'm gonna be sweaty, like it's gonna be a sweat to pass it, and I hate that feeling. So I'll just trade it for a week and then see what the balance is. Right, Al? I mean, what is your game plan? Right, it all comes down to what your original game plan was. Like, do you have just one or two 150Ks and you just want to get them passed? Or did you go out there and you went and bought 10, 15 of those puppies? Guys, do me a favor, smash that like button if you haven't already. Highly appreciate it. Coming right into supply, if anyone isn't on a bounce, you want to take profits here. Remember, we are still in a downtrend, so you're not looking to reverse this whole downwards move today, especially this late in the day. You are just looking for quick scalps here, getting in, getting some profits, identifying that that was a double bottom and you could have essentially had a 30-point risk. BT, I do trade in my community, yes. On YouTube, it's been a hot minute since I've been on here, and I figured since holiday time slower, let's pop on YouTube and see if anyone is interested in watching these live streams. Just kind of going over some stuff. That's another thing. How many? Thanks, Kurt. How many people are on live, are in this YouTube that are in the community? How many of you guys are evolution traders? Martha, there you are. Mm-mm-mm. It just all comes down to, for me, I mean, for me, it's like this, guys. It's like when I think about trading, when I think about a lot of this stuff, I think about what's realistic, right? What's realistic? And, I know that trading is hard. Like, I know that it's hard. That's the thing. It's like, as much as, as long as I've been on YouTube making like different videos, as long as I've had the community and stuff like that, like the community is not so much of like, hey guys, look at me, follow me type of deal. It's kind of like I like to talk about and show you guys what's working for me, how I trade. I've traded the same way using like the same concepts for years, right? Years. So it's not like I'm inventing anything. I'm not, you know, the strategies are all just variations of things that I've learned in the past through trial and error, right? A lot of this stuff is just learning what works and what doesn't. Um, but I figure that, trading with a group is definitely better than trading solo, because a lot of times when you're trading alone, you can tend to put yourself in the corner and do things that you're not supposed to do with no accountability, right? So a group can kind of help with accountability. Um, you can tend to get lost in the strategy hunt where you're constantly seeking new strategies. Like I don't push, hey guys, everyone's got to trade this way and only look for this setup because this is my setup in my room. You guys can trade however you want, because at the end of the day, we're all looking at the same chart, right? So you're not seeing anything different than me. Maybe you're seeing it through a different lens, but you're not looking at anything that I can't see on the chart. So if you can see a potential bounce in a certain area or a potential breakout or breakdown, well, then I should be able to see it too as well, right? So when you look at that, it definitely helps to have other eyes on the chart with you. You guys can definitely work. Like if something is working in terms of take profit or stop loss for one person, that information definitely is vital and key to have for everyone, right? So like that kind of stuff on a day-to-day basis can definitely help, right? Um, and then I just try to do my best to break it down in how I see it, right? How I see the market, I try to share that. And maybe something stands out. And again, it doesn't have to be exactly the way that I see things or trade things, because we're all different, right? We're all unique, we're all human. But maybe something I say is one of the key components that you needed to hear, that's going to change your trading for the better. Because like again, I do believe that anyone can do this. I strongly believe that. I don't think everyone is going to be as good as certain people. Like there are certain traders that I've spoken to and traded with, even inside the community, that I can just tell they're really good. They're really good on how they manage their expectations. They're really good on how they execute. And I can see that, right? There's other traders that I can see that are just looking for like a holy grail, where it's like, well, what setup can I take? What strategy can I use that's going to pass the evaluation today? Like here's a news flash. Like you can load max size on a 50K account and put a 16.5 point take profit, and you can go long and short on opening range breaks, and you're going to pass half of them, right? So if it's about passing an evaluation, fine. Like there's multiple ways to do that. You can break it up in two trades, like you can go for 8 points on one trade, 8 points on another trade, and you're done. Max size. Make sure it's a great setup that has potential to move over 8 points, and you're gonna pass. But can you actually trade a funded account? Can you manage multiple accounts? Right? Because I'll tell you that you're not going to do that every day in a funded account. It's just not going to happen. You know, I don't know. I just think it'd be silly of me to go on there and always preach that this stuff is easy. I know it's not easy, you know. It's not easy. And that's what kind of what gets sold on social media is that if you learn this, the game is over. It's not over. It's never over. I still see things that I've never seen before. You know, the market still never fails to amaze. Like that day after FOMC or on FOMC, I mean the market was down 1,000 points. Like, come on. Like relatively quickly. If this was like 15 years ago, people would be jumping out of the 20th story building, committing, you know what? Like 1,000 points decline is in a session is crazy. You know, it's like that's not normal. So markets are definitely they change, they evolve, but we got to just do our best to stay on top of it on a day in and day out basis. What up, TX? Yeah, yeah. So I got a few of you guys in here. Got a few of you guys in here. I think until a trader takes payouts and they actually see that what they're doing on the charts and on these computer screens is real, meaning you're putting money in your pocket, you will continue to spin your wheels in the mud until you put money in your pocket. And if you are failing to put money in your pocket, it's not about going faster and bigger. It's about taking longer and going slower. And I broke this example down in my community a couple days ago, I think. But it's like, even if you have one account and you averaged $135 a day over a month, you guys would make like $1,500 to $2,000. And if that's not enough for you, because again, it's not enough for anyone out there really in these times, we can scale that. 2 accounts, 3 accounts, 4 accounts, 5 accounts, right? So you can definitely make more money by scaling versus looking to make more money on a day in and day out basis. And it's like, realistically, what would probably be the smartest thing for a lot of traders to do would be set a daily loss limit of $300 between 250 and 300, and any day you make over $125, might be 200, might be 250, might be 300, might be 125 exactly. Anytime that happens on that one particular account, you stop trading on the day, and you just do that over and over and over until it becomes so boring that you can't wait to get off the screens. Like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I can't wait to get off the screens a lot of the times because trading is so boring, right? Trading is so boring that a lot of times I can't wait to get off the screens. And that's how it should be. It should become so boring. Your setup should become so boring and so obvious, and your risk management so obvious to where when you do lose, you know what you have to do. It's walk away, and you actually walk away. And when you win, you do what you're supposed to do, is walk away, and you actually do it. Not sitting here. I believe Martha, you laid down the line that we've all heard many times in the mindset, right? The whole idea of one more trade, right? Or the same idea, but the whole, if I just hold it one more second, it's going to come back in my favor. If you get over that mindset, you're going to do a lot better for yourself. And realistically, guys, unless you don't plan on waking up tomorrow, the days are going to continue to pass, right? Regardless, they're going to continue to pass. So would you rather be sitting here in February of 2025 with $3, $4, $5, $6,000 in your pocket? Or would you rather be sitting here in 2025 unloading the credit card on another 20 evaluations because you blew everything up, doing the same stupid mistakes? Which one? Because I'll tell you that you have the opportunity to choose one. You know, even if you have 2 accounts, you have the opportunity to make $1,000 to $2,000 in January, put it in your pocket, make it real, or you have the opportunity to make nothing and continue to deposit money into these prop firms. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do to make it real, right? Again, everyone should be able to identify one mistake that you actively made in your trading in 2024, and we need to aggressively fix that in 25. We need to completely eliminate that one mistake. If you're making multiple mistakes, let's eliminate the one first, and then we'll work on the second one, month 2. Okay, so we'll work on one mistake for that month. Because let's do this, right? Let's do this. $135 a day, and I like to have small goals because they're easily achievable versus going for the bigger goal. But if you make $135 for 30 days, I'm not saying that it has to be in a row, okay? I'm not saying that it has to be in a row. If you make $135 for 30 days, okay? That's $4,000. Okay, now you're going to lose. You're going to lose days, right? It's going to happen. But if you limit your lost days to, let's say, 250 bucks, right? Just let the math do the math. And let's say you lost 7 days, right? So 250 minus 7 days. Oops. 250 times 7 days is $1,700. Now we're going to make 4,000. We're going to lose 1,700. That puts us at a net profit of 2,250. So we need more winning days to get us back up into like a $3,000, $3,500 ballpark, right? So it might take you between 30 and 45 days because, again, remember, guys, we just swept the lows again. That was an aggressive sweep with the bounce. It might take you less time because there's going to be some days where you don't make 135, you make 300, you make 250, you make 400, right? You have a great day, you make 500. But if you just kind of know that, like, hey, if I'm up 300, I need to absolutely walk away with nothing less in my account than 125, 135, right? That keeps me on pace. And then you keep trading, and let's say you make another 40 here, 50 here, and your $250 day goes to $320 day. Great. So that's why I'm saying you only need about 30 trading days over 135 to take a payout of at least 1,500 bucks. So from there, it's all about having more accounts. Guys, if you had 5 accounts, let's just start with 3. Let's just start with 3. If you had 3 accounts and you took out $1,500 from those 3 accounts, I mean, guys, you made 4,500 bucks. You made $5,000 this month. You know, times 12 months of the year, right? Is $54,000 to your bottom line. Now, again, if that's not enough, I'm only talking about 3 accounts. That number can be multiplied. But we got to get the one first, right? We got to get, we can't talk about, like, you know, making $20,000 a month when we haven't even taken out 1,000, right? So that's where, like, the realistic approach comes into play. You got to be realistic. There has to be building blocks to this. There has to be steps that are taken in order for you to achieve the goal that you want to achieve. Again, you can get to $5,000, $10,000 a month relatively quickly, probably within 3 to 4 months, but you got to start doing what needs to be done on a day in and a day out basis. Guys, this could be a perfect opportunity for a bounce here. This previous 5-minute candle is going to be a wide range, but it could be a little bit of a scalp here. Oh, I want to get into, I'm going to trade this on micros. I want to see here. This previous 30-minute candle, or excuse me, 5-minute candle is 41 points. That's a lot. But I like the wick, right? I like the wick. So let's see here. If I manage my position size here with micros, let's see if this wants to give me a little bit of a scalper-rooer. Again, we're up pretty good on this evaluation here, so I'm not risking anything close to what I made. Come on. Come on. Just give me the 5 points. Give me the 5 points. Give it to me. Come on. It's so close. It's so close. What's my entry? 21,226 is my entry. 21,226 is my entry, guys. Come on. I want to prove something to you guys here. Oh my gosh, it's so close. It's so close. It's so close. 21,226.5 is my entry. 21,226.5. You're not going to give it to me. It's just 5 points. Come on, market. It's just 5 points. It's so close. I mean, geez. Oh, it's going to pull back. 5 points is all I'm asking for here. 5 points for the chat is all I'm asking for here. Oh, I don't have a stop loss on, or I don't have a take profit. My bad. Jeez, 21,226 I was in at. Wow, I'm way over, so I'm up 10 points. That was stupid of me. My ATM was off. Anyways, we're going to sell this here for $70. I was wondering, like, why am I not getting 5 points? I'm in at 226. What the hell's going on here? Jeez, idiot me. I switched over into MNQs. Guys, I switched over into MNQs. I didn't have the ATM. Wow. No. Siri, no. I had 3 micros on the table. So I put on 3 micros on the table off that aggressive wick bounce. As soon as this 5-minute candle took out the previous 5-minute candle wick high, I got in. I was under the assumption I was running a 20-point risk. I was never in any type of drawdown at all. It just was pretty much flat, and then it started to go up a little bit. I ended up taking $70 on that trade on 3 micros. But here's a perfect point. I mean, look at the damn thing; it's still going up. Here's a perfect point, guys. You can find like 2 or 3 of those little trades, 10-point traders, 15-point traders on micros, make 40 here, 50 here, 70 there. If the whole goal here is to make like $150, $250 a day, but just do that times 10 accounts to make $10,000 a month, make that your plan. Make that your plan for 2025 until you get paid. Like, I'm curious right now, not the people that are in evolution traders, because I've already talked to you guys many times. I want to hear from people that are just in the chat here that are not a part of my Discord. How much are you guys trying to make a month? Like, be realistic with me. I don't care if you're trading an evaluation. I don't care if you're trading a funded account. How much are you trying to make a month? I want to know that. Like, throw some numbers at me. How much, what would you be cool with making on a monthly basis? What would you be cool with making on a monthly basis? 5,000, 4 to 5, 2 to 4, 10K. Perfect. These are all numbers, guys. These are all numbers that you guys can easily hit by making $100 to $200 a day. And these are all numbers that you can hit by taking one trade on a mini, right? One winning trade on a mini and locking it up, and then you can take it on a handful of micros on a couple of trades. Easy stuff, guys. Again, trading's not easy, but I'm saying if you set the bar low, you have a better chance of hitting the mark, right? So if you think about it, if your goal is, let's say, 5,000, because that's the midpoint here, that's the high point here, right? If your goal is 5,000, you need to withdraw $1,000 across 5 accounts. Make the math make sense to you, because as soon as the math makes sense to you, you can build a plan around that math. If your goal is to make 3,000, you need to make $1,000 minimum, right? Withdrawal $1,000 minimum off 3 accounts. How easy is that to do? How some of you guys are going up $500, $600, $700 in a day. Like realistically, that should be like your weekly goal, like $700, $600 in a week. Like if you can make $100, $200, you can definitely make two, three, four, $5,000 a month. Just scale it across more accounts. $500 a day on each account is doable if you have the right size account, but it's a little bit of a stretch. I'll ask the question. I'm probably gonna butcher this name. Razor. How much money did you take out of the market last month? How much did the prop firm pay you last month? Art, the same question for you. How much did you get paid from the prop firm last month? I'm just curious to know. $500 a day and $10,000 a day. Art and Razor, how much money did you guys make from the prop firms last month? $20 play also worked too as well, guys. Long. I didn't take it. I'm over here farting around with the chat. $20 play would have paid out perfectly. That's a shame. You donated close to 5 in fees and EVA. Okay, cool. So look at, that's the point, right? And again, Art, this is not even to throw shade on you at all. This is the problem with a lot of traders who are coming into the prop firms. Art, I'm gonna sit here and tell you, you can definitely make $10,000 a month. You can definitely have a $10,000 payout. You can make $20,000 in a month. The thing is, we got to make 1,000. Like we got to put $2,000 in our pocket. Art, like we got to put the $2,000 in our pocket so we can have money to go invest in to scale our business more. So what's going to get us to that first 2,000? What's going to get us to that first 2,000? You know, realistically, if you can make 2,500 yeah, exactly. So like again, here's the thing, guys. Again, some of you guys have the luxury of, you guys do have other income coming in, right? I'm not speaking for everyone. I know some of you guys may be retired. I know some of you guys may be in between jobs. I know there's other life circumstances that are out there. But the majority of people, yeah, a pullback into 50s or 40s would be nice. The majority of people out there do have either some savings that they've got to rely on to make this work, or they have other income coming in from a 9 to 5 or something that they're doing on the side. So Even adding a $2,000, $3,000 to your monthly income helps out a lot. I mean, think about it. How much is your car payment? That can get paid, right? Out of, if you're making $2,000, $3,000 a month, how much is that going to free you up? How much is your cell phone bill? What is your utilities? What is your electricity? What is your gas? What is your, cable bill? What is your internet bill? What is your health insurance cost a month? What does your auto insurance cost a month? Even making $2,000 a month can take care of a lot of these bills, right, that are mandatory. Now, depending on your age and depending on where you're at in life, again, I understand everyone's pockets are different and everyone's life situation is different. Maybe you don't pay bills at all. Congratulations to you, but some of us out here pay bills. So the thing is that you have different opportunities to kind of compensate for what's going on in terms of how you live your life, right? How you can make your life a little bit more comfortable. And I think for the people out there that are shooting for, I need to make $500 a day. I want to make $10,000 a month. It sounds great. It looks great or whatever. Let's put 2,000 in our pocket. Let's put $1,000 in our pocket and let's grow from there. Month 2, we go for 3,000. Month 6, we're at 5,000. 12, this time next year, let's get on a live call and let's get on a live stream and let you guys come back and say, hey, I remember what the hell you were talking about. I didn't even make any money last year. And guess what? This last month I had my best payout of $15,000, right? Like, we got to start somewhere though. And I think a lot of times is when the bar is set so fucking high, right? When it's so far away, it's like a mirage. It's like, it's going to take us forever to get there. Set the bar low. What is it going to take for us to take our first $1,000 out of these fucking prop firms, right? Because at the end of the day, it's us, it's you versus them. Okay? I don't care about the sale. I don't care about how good a deal it is. By the way, 90% off right now. But what I'm saying is I don't care about how lucrative it looks. Which firm is better? All this talk, oh, this firm is better than that one. Oh, straight to funded is better than this. Guys, half the people out there talking shit haven't even made any money, right? So like, at the end of the day, who cares about what firm's better? Oh, I don't like these rules. Oh, this company's a scam. Oh, this company's that. Oh, they change their shit all the time. Then go to somewhere else where you're going to get paid out, buddy. Like, go somewhere else where you're comfortable. Quit wasting your time talking about all the nonsense when you haven't even submitted for a payout to even get denied. Now, let's say you have submitted a payout and you got denied through one of these firms. Okay, what are you going to do? Sit there and cry about it, move on, go to another firm, or continue to trade and figure out what you did wrong and fix those mistakes. The thing is make it real. Let's go after $1,000 in January. If this is for all of you guys, I don't even need you guys to say anything in chat. Sit there, close your eyes for 2 freaking seconds and tell yourself, be real with yourself here. Okay. Be real with yourself. Life moment here, guys. Gather around, right? Epiphany needs to happen here. Close your eyes. If you took out no money from your prop firm that you're trading with this last month, let's start with taking out our first $1,000. Forget about everything else. Let's make $1,000. Let's prove to ourselves that we can do it. What is it going to take? What is it realistically going to take for us to take out $1,000? How much do we need to make a day? You need to reverse engineer the math. How much for 30 days do you need to make to pull out $1,000? How much, because we know that out of those next 30 trading days, you're not going to win every trade and have a green day every day. How many days can we afford to lose and still be able to take out $1,000? Reverse engineer that math, stick to it for the next 30 days. I would love it if someone actually created a plan, set forth rules, and actually stuck to them and came back to my channel anywhere on any video that I have posted on my Discord, doesn't really matter, and say, hey, you know what? I took out my first $1,000 this month, all because I slowed way the fuck down and I got more realistic and I actually made this shit real. I tell people in my room all the time, again, those of you guys who are in my room, you guys can vouch for me. If we're sitting here at the screens and we're not making any fucking money, we're wasting our time. Like, you guys can go do Uber, you guys can go, collect cans, you guys can go do whatever. You guys can go to your family's house and go lift up the couch cushions, and I'm sure you're going to find some change in there. Go do something that's going to make you money. Go get a second job. Go do something else. Because if this what we're doing here is not making you any money, you're wasting your time. Like, I'm a big advocate in, like, we need to cut the learning curve down. Like, we need to cut the learning curve down. You know, you cannot sit here and waste 12 months of your life not making any money because you think it's going to pay off later. There's a lot of tools, there's a lot of free resources, there's a lot of things you can do where you can learn how to make money in the markets. You can learn strategies for absolutely free. You don't need to pay anyone. You don't need to have a mentor. Again, I offer a trading community. Sure, if you want to come in and learn from someone who can maybe help you, be my guest. If not, that's fine. There's so many free resources out there, right? There's so many free resources. It's going to come down to you. What are you going to do to get it done? Up 60K with you, profit denied, 3K payout, brutal hit, so needed to suck it up and start over with a legit firm. Yeah, I mean, Jay, I mean, you did it once, right? I mean, like, you made that amount of money once. You could do it again, right? That's the thing. Like, does it suck? Of course it does. Of course it sucks, right? I mean, think about it. I never traded with them, but think about all those people who had that I don't even want to get into a discussion about it, but everyone who was trading with fast track, imagine all those people who had money ready for payout or submitted payouts and they just got strung along and then they got rug pulled. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that, right? Like, but if you did it once, you could do it again. Just find a firm that's legit. Again, I know people hate on Apex. Guys, they pay though. Like yeah, they have some funny rules. I get it, whatever. They pay. Go to Top Step. Go to Top Step. It's like Wild Wild West over there. Like, you could do whatever you want at Top Step. You want dollar cost average, dollar cost average. You want to, not worry about a consistency rule, like, don't worry about a consistency rule. Like, you want to take 1 point take profits, take 1 point take profits. Like, it's like, well, like, you want to do whatever you want, do whatever you want. Yeah, that FTT nonsense was fucking insane. But, it is what it is. Like I'm saying, there's so many different firms out there. It's like, you got to find one that you like. You find one that fits and just hammer it home, right? Just hammer it home. But the thing is like, if you walk into the mirror and you look at yourself and you have not taken money out last month, like, we have to absolutely take something out of the market in the next 30 to 45 days. I don't care if it's $500. Like, a lot of you guys don't understand that just actually taking that first payout puts things into perspective of, I did it once, now I can do it again. How can I make more? Instead of 500, I want 1,000. Instead of 1,000, I want 2,000. What is the math that I need to figure out to help me get there? Can I do it on one account realistically? Or would my life be less stressful if I can do it across 3 accounts? If I could take out 500, 500, 500, that's $1,500. Think about that. Think about it. Guys, the market's not doing anything. It's chopping back and forth, chopping back and forth. That's it for me. That was my rant for the day. I really appreciate you guys who jumped on this YouTube live stream. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out. I'll definitely do them more in 2025. Again, my traders, my team will always come first, so I definitely will be trading with them in the mornings. And then we will probably hop in over here and see how everyone else on YouTube is doing a little bit later on in the day and just kind of go over some things. But I mean, I enjoy it. I'm sitting here anyways, so it's not really that much of a big deal. But have a safe and happy New Year's to all of you guys. Again, markets will be closed tomorrow. I would definitely recommend that would be it. In terms of trading this week, guys, even if you're still sitting here right now, unless you're just trying to gamble in evaluation, go enjoy your guys' day. Go enjoy the new year. with friends, with family, hell, by yourself, right? Maybe some of you guys don't want anyone around tonight. Enjoy yourself, reflect, create a game plan. Again, guys, we're going into a new year. I know everyone always comes out with all these resolutions and all this, what I'm going to do different this year, but actually do it and stick to it, right? We're all out here living our own lives. We have to do what's best for ourselves. A lot of it is, going to come down to what you're going to do. Take care of your health. That first and foremost does not matter about how much money you make if your health is completely shot, right? Take care of yourself first, mentally, physically. Okay? Take care of the people that are around you first and foremost, because without any of that stuff, none of this stuff matters, right? None of this stuff matters. Be very appreciative of what we do have, because there are very, very less fortunate people. For those of you guys even out here buying evaluations and blowing them and spending, money on all this crap, you have to understand that some people don't have money in the world to even be able to be given the opportunity with it to allow themselves to make money. Consider yourself very blessed that you can even afford to buy evaluations and take this business serious and try to make money. So actually treat it like a business and take it serious and figure out what you need to do so that you can make money. If you're going to sit here and invest your hard-earned dollars or your savings account or your retirement or your pension or your social security or whatever the hell you're doing to invest into these prop firms, make it worth it, right? Make it worth it. With that being said, I will catch you guys all in the next one. Take care.